Hello, everybody. Today is Sunday, February uh, 19th, Sunday, February 19th, 2023. My name is Luis Almeida. I'm the teacher and student and coach of the philosophy and teachings of Spinoza and Gurdjieff. I want to talk about Spinoza today, particularly how to understand Spinoza. Spinoza's ethics is very difficult to comprehend. It took me many years. And this is the book I use. You can see how used it is. Uh, and It's an old book. It's actually, you can purchase this on Amazon.com. And I found that used books are very, very good. I mean, they're almost like new. I'm going to take on page 5 of the improvement. Now, in the ethics, it's written as it's actually a Dover edition and the Alois translation. If you ever want to follow what I do, and because again, Spinoza is very difficult to comprehend. And Spinoza's, there are 5 parts of the ethics. The first part is God, the second is the mind, the third is about the emotions, the fourth is about a human bondage and the application of reason, and part 5 is about human freedom and getting in connection with Spinoza's God. Now, Spinoza's God is much different than the God of Christianity. Now, what is the part that's part of the 5 parts of the ethics is called the improvement of our understanding. And this is what it's about. All the objects pursued by the multitude not only bring no remedy that tends to preserve our being, but even acts as a hindrance, causing the death not seldom of those who possess them, and always of those who are possessed by them. There are many examples of men who have suffered persecution, even to death, for the sake of their riches, and of men who, in pursuit of wealth, have exposed themselves to so many dangers that they have paid away their life as a penalty for their folly. Examples are no less numerous of men who have endured the utmost wretchedness for the sake of gaining or preserving their reputation. Lastly, there are innumerable cases of men who have hastened their death through overindulgence in sensual pleasures. All these are innumerable, or all these evils, since Spinoza calls these evil things. What he means by evil is anything that prevents us from preserving our existence, to stop us from coming to wisdom. Anything that stops us to come into clarity and true knowledge, and anything that stops us from achieving the greater good. See, everything Spinoza is explaining, and he had a difficulty with this, and his pursuit of clarity and coming to true freedom and understanding and happiness. Now, the improvement of our understanding is very important to understand, because Spinoza gives us an idea about what his process of coming, of achieving true happiness and true fulfillment through the improvement of his understanding. And that's what this part is about, improving our understanding. So let's continue. All these evils seem to have risen from the fact that happiness or unhappiness is made wholly to depend on the quality of the object which we love. When a thing is not loved, no quarrels will arise concerning it. No sadness will be felt if it perishes. No envy is it if it's possessed by another. No fear, no hatred. In short, no disturbances of the mind. All these arise from the love of what is perishable. such as the objects already mentioned. And now this is where it's really different, where the direction of Spinoza, what he really wanted. See, everybody's pursuing uh, the, the beautiful rainbow, the promise of happiness by the material things that we follow. We all do. I am involved in that. We all are. It's human nature to follow what we believe is will bring us happiness, and that is wealth, fame, and fortune, and the pleasures of our senses. Now, what does that mean? That when we are in excessive desires of these things, that's the problem we have. We have such a desire for, say, fame, or to be honored, or to be respected, to be loved, to be approved of. This is so powerful, such a strong desire. Why? Because we lack it. We don't have this, the love, the self-love. We don't affirm of ourselves. We feel basically worthless and many times helpless. And we have pain and we suffer. There's a question: why does God allow suffering? Why is man in such a painful state? And Spinoza's philosophy, his teaching, his ethics. Again, this is the Ethics, the Dover edition, translated by Elwes. It includes the improvement and 5 parts of the ethics, and also the correspondence. And I've been studying Spinoza for over 50 years. And I have a few students and those who wish to understand how to apply Spinoza to their idea, to themselves, to live Spinoza. It's not just a book to read because you'll never get it. It's so difficult to comprehend. And most people, even no matter how high of an IQ you have, you can be an Einstein. And that's, talk about Einstein. Einstein loved Spinoza. He was highly influenced by Spinoza's philosophy, and it changed his life. And he proclaimed when he was pressured, a rabbi asked him, why don't you come to the temple? We know you're famous. You help society with your knowledge, but we don't see you in temple. What's wrong with you? Don't you believe in God? And Einstein replied, my God is the God of Spinoza. Well, what is Spinoza's God? And that is different from the Christian God, because the Christian God believes in a man on a throne, dispenses favors and punishments. And Spinoza's God is a being that is comprised of infinite attributes. And we are part of two: the attribute of thought and the attribute of extension. The attribute of thought has to do with the infinite intelligence, and we are part of that intelligence. Our real thinking mind, our creative thinking mind, is a part of this intelligence. In reality, you would not think if you didn't, this attribute of God's nature did not express itself. The brain is a storehouse of memory. It helps regulate all the systems of our body, but it's not the mind. The mind is not a tangible thing. And this is where neuroscientists don't even know what the mind is. They think the mind is the brain. It's not. The brain, again, it reflects all the emotions. If you probe the parts of the different brains, yes, we're going to have experience of emotions, but that is not the mind. So Spinoza says this: but love towards a thing eternal and infinite feeds the mind wholly with joy and is in itself unmingled with any sadness. Wherefore, it is greatly to be desired and sought for with all our strength. With all our strength. And this is where Spinoza differentiated from all other philosophers. I mean, Schopenhauer learned from Spinoza, and Spinoza learned from Descartes and others. So these ideas are, say, clarified through Spinoza's ethics. Spinoza wrote his ethics over 300 years ago, and his works were banned. His ideas were banned, and they were published after his death. And basically, the ethics was discovered 200 years after Spinoza's death. And this today, teachers, philosophers, professors, university who major in philosophy study Spinoza. Why? Because he is so true and so clear if you can understand and follow. I am a student of Spinoza and also a teacher. I can help you understand Spinoza because by yourself it's impossible, no matter how brilliant you think you are. Because intellectuals have a problem. What is the problem? They deny emotions. And you need an emotion to understand Spinoza. And what is that emotion? Desire. I must want to understand Spinoza. And how do you get in touch with your desires? And that's where I come in. I can help you understand the significance of learning how to look at your emotions. All right, let's end with that today. This is a short one, but I want you to get a grasp of what I can do and help you understand Spinoza. I'll talk to you later. Talk to you soon.